Well, hey guys, Mr. Galleon here again, as you know, because you clicked on this. So hopefully you guys are still doing really, really well. I've got just a little bit to add to the Pachachka assignment. So if you are right where we need to be, go ahead and do this. This shouldn't take you long. It should be a pretty easy transfer of information from your outline into this new format. Okay. Some of you guys are a little further behind than that, so I'd encourage you to get moving. Make sure that I've approved stuff and seen what you've got because I want to give you a little bit of feedback. The one comment that I would say regarding the outlines you've done is that some of the outlines are good as far as an outline, but they are pretty sparse as far as what particular content do you have? What can you, in other words, what research have you done? Okay, this Pachachka shouldn't just be your thoughts about a topic. Okay, it should be information that you've researched and now you're sharing this information with us. So I'm gonna show you what I want you to do for this assignment because it's a little difficult to just type it out, but I think I can show it to you. And then I'm going to show you the rubric, and then I'm going to show you where you can see some other Pachachkas that I would recommend. Actually, I'll just leave a link down below so you can kind of see how this works. Okay. All right, so really quick, let me minimize myself here. And this is what you're going to see. When you go to Google Classroom, you are going to see, oh shoot, I'm totally gone. I don't want to be totally gone. Why am I totally gone? When you go to Google Classroom, you should see a copy of the Pachachka template, and you're going to get this. You're going to open it up, and all it is 10 black slides. That's it, okay? Now, a couple words really, really quick. Don't change that. Okay, on a Pachachka, I don't want a design in the background. I don't want a white background. I want a black background. That's going to be a little less obvious when we're doing this here. But if you're actually presenting a Pachachka and you've got like a white background that you're projecting, it actually is a little bit distracting. Black space is dead space. It's blank space. It's space your eyes aren't really attracted to. So you'll put your picture here, and the picture becomes the focal point, not the black. Okay. All right, so all you're going to do today is that you are going to go down to the bottom of your Google Slides presentation where it says click to add speaker notes. You're going to click there, and what you're going to do, starting with slide 1, is you are going to tell me what information do you plan on covering on this slide. Now, I typically tell you that when you get up to do a presentation, you can't have your speech completely written out. Excuse me. This is a case where you actually could, because I'm not going to see this when you're doing your actual presentation. Okay, so you're going to write down here what is it that's going to go in this slide. Okay, this is really storyboarding. Okay, so what you're doing is saying, I've got 10 slides. How am I going to organize this? So on slide 1, you're going to give me something about your introduction. Don't just write the word introduction. Okay, you're going to write I would write out your introduction, including a hook like we would typically do. Okay. Then you're going to go down and you're going to tell me what's going to be on the second slide, and you're going to type that in speaker notes. Same thing with slide 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now, make sure slide 1 is your introduction. Slide 10 is your conclusion. Do not include a title slide. So sorry. Do not include a title slide. You're going to start with a picture, not with a caption. Okay. It's not, whatever. Hang on, my kids are doing something out in the hall. Let me pause this really quick. All right, I think I took care of that. So no title slide and no conclusion slide, like no credits or anything like that. It's pictures all the way through. So you're not putting pictures in yet. You're just giving me your speaker notes, which are going to tell me exactly what you're going to cover. On Wednesday of next week, your assignment's going to be to go back, assuming this is done and done well, to go back and start adding in pictures. And I'll talk a little bit about how that works. But please don't add in pictures until you've got the text in there for your notes. Okay. I'm going to pause this again really quickly, and I want to show you the rubric for this assignment because I think some of you have this idea that you can just like put any pictures and talk about anything and be fine. And that's not really the case. So I'm going to talk about it quickly. I'm also going to just drop it in Classroom today. So if you're not interested in having any explanation of the rubric at all, that's fine. Some of you guys are like, hey, I can read, and that's cool. Some of you say, I'd feel better if I could see it. So If you're not interested in it, you can stop the video right now. I won't be offended. I won't even know. So you can do that. And if you want some information, stick around just another couple seconds and I'll see what I can do. All right, folks, I've pulled up the Pachachka rubric here, and this is the same one I'm dropping in Classroom in just a little bit. There are, in this particular rubric, 4 categories. So be aware that the fact that there are only 4 can hurt you just a little bit. Actually, let me get rid of this. Gum is not an option. I mean, if I hear gum, that's a problem, I guess. I'll leave it. If I hear you chewing gum, first of all, what are you doing? Don't be eating while you're doing that. There you go. And reading, it'd be pretty hard to tell if you're reading, but I can tell if all you're doing is reading. Like, usually there's a voice that you use when you're reading that's very different from your speaking voice. And so for that reason, I'm going to leave it in there. It needs to not sound like you're reading, even if you are. I don't know, does that make sense? It's okay. If you have issues with that, we can talk about it. We can let you redo the thing, and I'm not going to just leave you out to dry. Okay. So let's talk about the 4 categories of this. First of all, yes, 10 slides times 20 seconds a slide equals a 3 minutes and 20-second talk. Try not to use words on the slide, no bullet points. It should automatically advance. Use few or no notes, although this time around that is kind of not, we can just get rid of that because, yeah, you'll probably use notes almost exclusively, I would imagine. Okay. You're doing it at home. Okay, so the requirements. This part, you ought to get all these points, okay? Your presentation has 10 slides, which I've already given you in that template, that are timed to advance every 20 seconds. Right now, you probably don't know how to do that, but I am going to give you the information so you know exactly how to do it. If you follow those directions, you are going to be just fine, okay? So that should be an A for everybody in that category. Your organization. This is nothing new. Your hook and your thesis are strong. You give me the purpose of the presentation. You draw us into the presentation. This is that typical, let me give you a hook, something to think, something to feel, whatever, okay? The Pachachka is extremely organized. The ideas and images flowed in a manner that was easy to follow and understand. The materials transition seamlessly from slide to slide. That means you're not pausing at the end to wait on the next thing because it's timed down just right. The idea of flowing from one slide to the next also has to do with, does it make sense, or are you just basically giving us a list of things? Your Pachachka is not a list. It should be a story. There's a big difference there, okay? So you'll see if you look at the B category, it says there were jumps and transitions that were not entirely seamless, or the ideas only flowed well, versus it doesn't create a strong sense of what's to follow in this area. Pachachka is poorly organized, so you can see where the differences are, okay? The preparation and presentation of your script. There's a lot in here, okay? So to get all the points, it says the presenter obviously compared a compelling script. You rehearsed. I can tell that by, are you tripping over your words a lot? Does it all make sense? Is it coming together? Have you demonstrated superior subject matter, of the subject matter, and you didn't read to your audience? Again, it doesn't sound like you're reading. If you do read, that's fine. It just can't sound like you're reading. Does that make sense? I know that seems a little bit weird. It would make a lot more sense in person because I just wouldn't let you read. I'm not really going to know in this case is what I'm saying, unless it reads like that. So let me give you an example. If I say, let's look at the B column. The presenter obviously prepared a script, rehearsed, demonstrated strong subject matter, strong knowledge of the subject matter, and did not read to the audience. Presentation is mostly based on research rather than previous knowledge. No more than 3 citations are included in speech. So I'm not talking when I'm reading that like I normally talk, and I think you can hear that, okay? So that's what I'm talking about. The next chunk of this is important. It says presentation is clearly based on research rather than individual knowledge. And again, there are a couple of you in your outline that your outline is clearly just, hey, this is something I know about this topic. I'm going to throw it in there. Okay. Y'all, you have to give me actual facts and actual data that comes from research, or it doesn't actually mean anything. All right. It's just, I've thrown this presentation together because I had to. One of the ways you can prove that is by including at least 4 citations in your speech. And here you can see it goes from 4 to 3 to 1 to 2 to 0 to 1. It really depends on how bad it is, okay? And the other difference is it mostly based on research rather than knowledge? Is it equally based on research and previous knowledge, or is it mostly based on previous knowledge? There should be a period there. Okay. And then finally, visual appeal and creativity. We're going to talk more about this next time. So if you're not sure what some of this is talking about or what I want, don't worry. But since we're looking at the rubric, I'll point it out. It says, the images and text chosen were appropriate and thoughtful to the topic and conveyed in an excellent manner the Pechotchka's purpose. Again, we'll talk about that more next time, but you should be fine. All right. An average of 1 picture per slide. So I will mention this. We're not going to put 12 pictures all over the Pechotchka. Even some of the samples that I will leave in the Google Classroom link will do that. But that is usually not the best route to go. Okay. It's usually not. So I would encourage you mostly to stick with just 1 picture per slide. If you think you have a reason to do more, that's okay, because it does say an average of 1 picture per slide. So every once in a while, you might have a good reason to throw 2 or maybe even 3 things in there. Just means the rest of them need to have fewer, okay? And it should take up a maximum amount of screen without distortion or stretching, and that I will talk about next time. The only other thing I'd mention in the rubric is that you start to see in the B category, some slides are text heavy, many slides are text heavy, the presentation is text heavy. This is a picture-oriented thing, so you shouldn't have lots and lots of those. Man, I don't know if you can see me or not. Yikes, now I'm installing Notepad. That's cool. Okay. So y'all, I don't know where I went. There I am. I don't know if that helps you or not. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to email me or whatever. I'm happy to help you guys out. Okay. So hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying healthy, and I hope to see you guys real soon.